So I have been saying this for over 20 years. Over 20 years. Yes, you can buy a house with no money down. But no money down doesn't mean that you have no money at all. Let me repeat, no money down does not mean that you have no money at all. There are some upfront expenses that you will need to pay for during the home buying process. But if you are getting a 0% down mortgage and your closing costs are covered, no money down means when you get to the closing table, you will get money back. That's what it means, no money down. But you still need some money up front. Yes, I have been saying for over 20 years, you can buy a house with no credit score. There's a big announcement that's out. I've been saying this for over 20 years. And here's the deal. You can buy a house with no credit score, and it's not limited to a specific location, and it's not limited to a specific ethnic background. I've been saying this for 20 years. You can buy a house with no money down. You can buy a house with no credit score, and you can buy a house with a low credit score, okay? Your credit score does not have to be 800. A person with a 640 credit score can get the same interest rate as a person with an 800 score. Now watch this. I've been hearing so many people talk about the dream of home ownership. Yes, buying your home. Can't you see your children playing in the backyard? Can't you see your family members coming over for holiday dinners, for Easter Sunday, for Memorial Day, the 4th of July, Thanksgiving, and Christmas? Yes, I remember that dream. I remember that dream over 20 years ago. And growing up in the projects and being raised by a grandmother who had an 8th grade education, and although she was very wise and gave me all the love in the world that I needed, I never knew growing up that home ownership could be a possibility for me. I thought home ownership was something that was reserved for the people on the Brady Bunch or the Jeffersons. Well, they lived in a condo, but I had the idea in my head that they owned something, that they were moving on up, that they had arrived. Well, guess what? I came into the financial services industry, and right now I am going back to my roots. I came into the financial services industry to help people achieve the dream of homeownership. So you've been responding to many of my posts, and I just want to address a few things so that you can get the truth and the facts, and you can be in a position to not allow the myths to keep you from achieving the dream of homeownership. The first thing I want to say to you is this. Everything that you've been told that's scary, that is prohibitive about you buying a home, that has anything to do with your race, that has anything to do with your socioeconomic status, that even has anything to do with your credit score, those things are not true. You do not have to be bound by race. You do not have to be bound by color. You are not bound by how much money you make. You are not even bound by your credit score or the fact that you have one or you don't have one. Because all of these things, first of all, the ones in the beginning are discriminatory. So if you ever feel like you're in a situation where you are not being provided access to home ownership because of your race, your gender, your ethnicity, whether or not you have some physical disability, then I want you to make sure you reach out to the Department of Housing and Urban Development. And if you need some assistance with that, then go to asklynn.org and we will certainly steer you in the right direction. But the other things, I don't have a credit score. My credit score is too low. I need, $50 billion to put down. All of those things are myths. So I'm going to tell you the truth about homeownership. Number one, does your credit score impact your interest rate? Well, the answer is no. If you go to the right mortgage professional. because someone with a 620 credit score can get the exact same rate as someone with an 800 credit score. Let me repeat. Someone with a 620 credit score can get the exact same rate as someone with an 800 credit score. It all depends on the program that you are placed into. Now, yes, if you get a conforming conventional Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac mortgage, then those programs are typically score driven. But there are programs that are available that are still excellent mortgages backed by the government that do not place your interest rate. Your interest rate is not contingent upon your credit score. Let me say this to you. For everybody who's been told that you have bad credit because you have no credit, because you pay all of your bills in cash, you pay your utilities, you pay your rent, you pay for your mobile phone, you pay for your internet, and you don't have any credit at all. You've never borrowed from anybody. Well, first of all, hallelujah and congratulations to you. Congratulations to you. Now you try to go and get a house and they tell you that you have bad credit. Well, that's because they have bad judgment. That's because they have bad rules. That's because they have a bad perception of what it takes to get into a home. So if you have no credit score, meaning they pull your credit report and you have no score at all, then guess what? You too can buy a house with a low interest rate and a low down payment, and your interest rate can be just as low as someone who has an 800 credit score. Okay, so that is a myth. If you have no credit score, you are in an excellent position to buy a home. Now, what if you have a low credit score? I know, I've been there, I've done that. When my husband and I bought our first home over 20 years ago, we had a low credit score, we had late payments, we had some outstanding collections. There may have even been a judgment or something on the credit report. And what we had to do is I had to go through the process of explaining those late payments and giving myself enough time between the last late payment and the day that I moved into my house in order to get approved for a mortgage. You see, there's a process in the underwriting, the mortgage underwriting period. There's something called a letter of explanation. And a letter of explanation can be the difference between you getting your home and not getting your home. A letter of explanation is going to give the underwriter the comfort and the ability to be able to say yes to your mortgage because the circumstances that you experienced were either out of your control or they were temporary, and you have learned from those circumstances and put something in place to prevent those circumstances from happening again. Some of the things that could be explained in terms of reasons why you may have had some late payments. Maybe there was an interruption in income. Maybe you were ill. Maybe you lost a job. Maybe there was a divorce, a breakup, or something that impacted your ability. Well, guess what? Depending on how, when, and where, and how your mortgage professional puts this together could be the difference between you getting a home and not getting a home. So I remember it's about 15, 16 years ago now. I went to Coble Hall in Detroit, me and my team, and it was mortgage approval day. That day, we got over 1,000 people approved for mortgages in one day. I had a whole team. We had machines and computers pulling credit reports and printers, and we gave everybody a mortgage approval plan. It's a map. It will guide you to owning your home. And you can get your house in 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, or a year. Whatever it is that is outlined in that mortgage approval plan, my promise to you is that if you follow the steps, you will get in your home, okay? So even a low credit score can be overcome. You all know the story. My lady, this is true. She had 4 bankruptcies and 2 foreclosures. She had been denied by so many lenders. What I can't believe is that she kept going. But she kept going because of Monica and David Poland, my real estate partners in Chicago. And I had just started working with them, and they had heard of how I was getting people approved for mortgages who had been denied. So they sent her to me, and I told everybody, listen, now during the mortgage process, you're going to get, you may get anxious. You're going to get nervous. You can't sleep at night. You're biting your fingernails. You don't even have any fingernails. You're biting your fingernails. You're going through all of this stuff. But I tell everybody, you can get a fast no or a slow yes. Which one do you want? Because sometimes when I see a file, I need to pray on it. I need to meditate on it. I need to look at the circumstances and then figure out, how am I going to explain this? I may have to research underwriting guidelines. Sometimes the underwriting guidelines are this thick, and I will have to read every single page in order to come up with a solution for you. So the good news is, yes, you can buy a home with no credit score. The good news is, yes, you can buy a home even if you have a low credit score. The good news is you can overcome issues like maybe a sketchy employment history. You can overcome your debt to income ratio being too high. I cannot tell you the number of people who have come to me because they got denied because their debt to income ratio was too high. And because I'm a mathematician and I think logically and I know the rules, I'm able to look at that case and say, okay, if we do this, this, and that, then we can get the loan approved. So I've been doing this before there was a Lynn Richardson that everybody knows, before there was a Medea of money, before there was me being on Steve Harvey, before Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, or Twitter. Let me tell you who I was and who I still am today. The mortgage guru. I have been gifted with the ability to work through tough mortgage situations and help families achieve the dream of home ownership. And I have been doing it for more than 2 decades. The question is, are you going to go on this workout? Yes, I'm working out right now. Now I'm taking it easy a little bit. When I get through with this video, I'm going to pump it up a notch. But getting a home and overcoming your issues, and even if you have a perfect credit score, I know people who have a perfect credit score, they said, Lynn, I got denied. I look at that case and I figure it out, and because I have been doing this for so long, and although some of the rules have changed, many of them stay the same, then I'm able to direct and guide and give you the map. You see, a map guides you. I'm able to give you that map that's going to get you into your home. Can't you just see the keys in your hands right now? Don't you want to achieve a piece of the American dream? Now, if homeownership isn't for you, that's fine. That's okay. I've had a home, lost a home, got another home, then decided to rent for a period of time, and am now in that process again. So it all depends on where you are. But if you have decided that this is your time, this is your season, and you want to make the dream of homeownership your reality, then you need to join Lynn Richardson's Home Buyers Club. Get in the Home Buyers Club. Get the guidance and the coaching that you need. Get the mortgage approval plan. Get on the live Q&As with me. Be able to go into our membership portal during our office hours and ask your questions and get honest and true answers. No matter where you are in the United States of America, I want to help you achieve what I've achieved many times and what I've helped so many other people achieve over their lives. And that is the ability to build wealth through home ownership. But I don't just want you to get the home. I want you to keep the home. That's what it's about. So it's about having a plan. It's about having savings. It's about curbing your spending. It's about not trying to keep up with the Joneses. It is about finally putting your legacy in place. And I am here with you. Go to asklynn.org right now and join Lynn Richardson's Home Buyers Club. And I'll see you in your new home. I'd love to show up via Zoom and welcome you there. Let's go.